Assalamu alaikum. We have made a project for our course software development project. Our project name is Flappy Bird. It is a Windows game application. Supervised by our honorable mentors, Professor Dr. Kaji Masudul Alam, Professor Computer Science and Engineering Discipline Khulna University, and Dr. Amit Kumar Mondol, Associate Professor Computer Science and Engineering Discipline Khulna University. They have helped us throughout the project with so many great ideas. So we want to thank them. The project has been made possible by myself, Shah Mohammad Mushfiqur Rahman, student ID 190224, and Ucho Devnath, student ID 200242. We are both studying in computer science and engineering discipline Khulna University. Now I am here to demonstrate our project on behalf of my team. Here is the content that I am going to present to you, that is introduction, feature list, tools and technology, game story, specification and finally gameplay. Flappy Bird is a popular side-scrolling mobile game. In this game, you have to control a bird and navigate it without touching anything. You gain points and the game will end if you hit the pipe or the ground. It was first released on 24th May 2013 and became a sensation overnight in early 2014. Flappy Bird was removed from both the App Store and Google Play by showing its addictive nature and overuse. So, to play and introduce the Flappy Bird game on a Windows environment, we proposed a system that is designed to give a minimalistic and simplistic look and feel with lots of new graphics, and also creates a way to entertain people in their leisure time. The tools and technology that we used in this project, that is for software section, operating system Windows 11, home and development tool Microsoft Visual Studio 2022, and programming language C++, graphics library SFML, and hardware section Intel Core i5, RAM 12 GB. We have many feature and specification for our project. There are user-friendly user interface, simply tap to fly gameplay, and user comfortable graphics. In player control section, there are two controls. If you press spacebar, the game will start, and if you press R, the game will restart. And sound effect, there are three types of sound: crash, flap, and score. In scoring, if we successfully pass the pipes, you gain score. And there are many resources: sprite asset, bars, background pipes, titles, and game over. And there are physics for the flap, graffiti, and collision detection. In collision detection, you can detect collision between the pipes and bars, between the bars and the ground. In difficulty, challenging gameplay and addictive nature. In restart, you can simply press R to restart your game, and gameplay that will be discussed in later. Now I discuss the game story. It is the starting page. By pressing the space bar, we start our game. Then it is the environment. There are green pipes and the birds. In the background, there are sky and ground. It is the last page, game over page, with game over title, score, high score, and instruction for restart. Finally, the most awaited section is coming. It's time to play. First, I want to go to the code segment of our project. This is Visual Studio. Flappybird.cpp is the main CPP file. Now I am going to the code explanation. In our project, we have used this library function and header file. This SFML audio and graphics library is used for audio and graphics. IOStream, stdlib, trim.h, and vector, these are all standard library function for C and C++. We don't use any third-party library function for our project. And this is the custom header file for our project. Render window class is used for creating windows with the size of 1000 pixel and 599 pixel. Set frame rate limit function set the frame rate to 59, and set key repeat enable function here disable the repeat key feature of Windows, and srun time 0 initialize the random generator. This block of code create an instance of sound structure, and load sound function manage the loading and playing sound in the game. Sound structure is defined in the sound.h. Sound structure contains these variables. Sound buffer object for score buffer, audio buffer, crash buffer. Sound object for score, flap, crash, and a function load sound. Load sound is defined in sounds.cpp. Load sound function load the sound using the load from file function. The three sound file score, flap, and crash are located in audio directory. And these three functions ensure sound objects are ready to play the sound effect later during gameplay. This block of code creates an instance for texture structure. The texture structure is defined in texture.x. The texture structure consists of background texture, a bird array for three bird, and game texture, pipe texture, and Flappy Bird title texture, and a load texture function. This load texture is defined in texture.cpp. The load textures is responsible for loading the above mentioned texture by using load from file function. This creates an instance for game structure. The game structure is defined in game.h. In game.h, the enum defines three states of game, that is waiting, started, and game over. In game structure, there are many variables. The score, high score, and frame. The game state is initiated with waiting, and the sprite for background, game over, and title, and the text for press R, menu, score text, high score text, font, and a function for load design. Load design function is defined in game.cpp. This load design function load font, set position, and scales. This is for background. This background set texture from background, set scale, and set position for the background. This is same for title. This set texture for title, set origin, originate the title, and set position, set the position, and set scale, set the scale. And this is same for menu that shows play, press S bar, and this is same for score text, high score text, and game over. This is also same for pressure. Now it is Flappy structure. V represent for velocity of the Flappy Bird, and frame represent the frame rate, and sprite represent the visual representation of Flappy Bird. This is the initial position of Flappy Bird, and this is resizable array of sprite for pipes. Then the main loop is started. Until Windows is open, the score will be updated and high score will be updated. And this is the Flappy's recent position. This fx get position from x coordinate, and fy get position from y coordinate, and this must be recent. And fw get the recent width, and face get the recent height. This is the animation condition for the Flappy Bird. If the game state is waiting, or if the game state is started, Flappy Bird frame will be updated and incremented in +1. And this is the condition for move Flappy. If the game state is started, then the Flappy's velocity will be incremented 0.5. And this is for heat sling, and this is for out of screen. If the y coordinate is less than 0, then the Flappy's velocity incremented is 0. And if the y coordinate greater than 599, that is out of the screen, the game state will be game over. Then it is to look for count score. If the game is started and the player position is at 250 pixel, because the gap between two pipes is 250, then we can tell the player must successfully pass the pipe. So game score will be updated and the score sound will be play. And if the recent score is greater than the high score will be updated with the recent score. It is the section for generate pipes. Game will be started and gap will be 224 pixel, and in every 150 pixel the pipe will be generated. This is for lower pipe and this is for higher pipe. And lastly, the two pipes will be pushed into the array. This is for move pipes. If the game is started, the pipe will be left in 3 pixel. This is for remove pipes. In every 100 pixel the pipe will be removed. This is for collision detection. If the game is started, then the loop is started. This is defined the pipe's recent position and Flappy's recent position and pipe's recent position will be the parameter of the function collision, and if the function's result is true, then the game state will be game over and play the crash. This collision detection function is defined in collision.cpp. In collision detection function, there are 8 parameters. Here x1, y1 represent the xy coordinate of Flappy Bird, and w1 and h1 represent height and height of Flappy Bird, and x2 and y2 represent xy coordinate of pipes, and w2 and s2 represent height and height of pipes. The function checks if the two rectangles intersect by comparing the x and y coordinates of their top left and bottom right corners. If the two rectangles overlap, the function returns true, otherwise it returns false. This is for event, and Windows.pull event check if there is an event, the loop will be start. If the user click the cross button, this event is checked, and Windows.close function close the window. And if the user press spacebar, this event will be checked. And if the game is in waiting state, then pressing spacebar will start the game and play the fluff sound of the part. And if the user press R, this event is checked. If it is in game over state, by pressing R, the game will be reset and restart the game. This part of the code is final rendering of the game. It clears the window, draw the background, draw the floppy, and draw the pipe, and also draw the score text, high score text. If the game in waiting mode, it draw the title and menu. If the game is in game over state, it draw the game over text and draw restart, press R, and finally it updates the total frames. That is the full code explanation. We create a setup file, and this is our setup.exe. This is the installer which can install the application where Windows operating system is installed. Now I am going to install the application in my PC. By double clicking the setup.exe, a window is appeared. Welcome to Flappy Bird setup wizard. Click next. You can change the directory. Click everyone. Click next. Click next. Yes. Flappy Bird has been successfully installed. Click close. Now I am trying to open the game. This is our application. That is the fast user interface of our game. It is the game title Flappy Bird. In next line, the game instruction play, press spacebar. In middle position, there is the bird Flappy Bird. In left upper position, there is score and high score. By pressing spacebar, I start the game. Bird in downward motion, pipelines moving to the left. A sound is generated when the bird flap. Another sound is generated in the time of scoring, and lastly, a sound is generated at the time of crash. I show it later. Now, for better briefing, I mute the sound. The basic idea for the player is to keep the bird untouched. Player has to move the bird through the series of pipe that appears on the screen with gap in between them. The bird automatically descends over time, so player must keep tapping to keep it in the air and gain altitude. 1 points for one successful pass. You can see in left side, when I passed a pipe successfully, 1 score is added to the previous one, and collision can happen between birds and pipes and birds and ground. When birds collide with the pipe and ground, a sound is generated and the game is over, and the game over page appeared. An instruction appears for restarting. Restart, press R. After pressing R, the game is restarting. In left side upward, the high score holds the previous round high score, and the score shows the recent score. And the gameplay is same as previous. That's all for the time being. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have liked the demonstration. Assalamu alaikum.